A bombshell report in The Atlantic about the FBI Director Kash Patel is making the rounds in Washington this morning. Staff writer Sarah Fitzpatrick wrote in an investigative piece that published last night, quote, Patel, according to multiple current officials as well as former officials who have stayed close to him, is deeply concerned that his job is in jeopardy. He has good reason to think so, including some having to do with what witnesses described as bouts of excessive drinking, end quote. You might remember back in February when Kash Patel was seen celebrating with the U.S. men's hockey team after their gold medal victory in the recent Winter Olympics. The incident apparently raised eyebrows for many in the Trump administration, according to Fitzpatrick, but she reports the concerns of FBI officials she talked to go much further than that. Quote, they said that the problems with his conduct go well beyond what was previously known and include conspicuous inebriation and unexplained absences. His behavior has often alarmed officials at the FBI and the Department of Justice, even as he won support from the White House for his eager participation in Trump's effort to turn federal law enforcement against the president's perceived political enemies, end quote. In response, Team Patel is readying for a fight. The FBI director's spokesperson, Erica Knight, is denying the Atlantic's reporting and threatening legal action. She posted online, quote, lawsuit is being filed, end quote. Now, we should emphasize here that MS Now has not independently confirmed any of this reporting. Fitzpatrick writes that the implication of Patel's conduct for the FBI, America's premier law enforcement agency, are huge. Quote, some at the FBI are concerned that Patel's behavior has left the country more vulnerable. One former senior intelligence official told me that there's a lack of experience at FBI headquarters and that the turnover rate is high in field offices because of both voluntary departures and Patel-ordered purges. The result is an FBI workforce being asked to accomplish more with fewer resources and with less direction from the top, end quote. The Atlantic's Sarah Fitzpatrick joins me now. Sarah, welcome to the show. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Sarah, I want to touch on that last point first. So I was just talking to David Rode about the situation in Iran. That's actually central to a lot of this. There have been a number of Iran experts at the FBI who were let go. Kash Patel was asked about this at Congress. He said that it was about an unrelated matter, but they're sort of weak on that front. And America is at war with an adversary that does actually have proven capabilities to cause trouble in America.
Absolutely. I think that is the center of this reporting, the through line of the reporting, and why I was able to kind of have this pattern documented at so many different levels, not just within the FBI, but outside of it, other national security agencies. This is a government-wide alarm that people are trying to sound because, again, they feel that the stakes right now are so high, particularly relevant to the threats that are coming from Iran, but also other actors that may sense this moment of weakness for the United States and take advantage of that. So yes, that is the key point, the key fear that underlines this story, and that I hear from everyone I talk to almost on a daily basis.
So, and I want to separate the two issues because one may agree or disagree with the fact that he may be drinking. That's separate from the operational issues that a lot of people spoke to you about that were concerns. You write on multiple occasions in the past year, members of his security detail had difficulty waking Patel because he was seemingly intoxicated, according to information supplied to Justice Department and White House officials. A request for quote, breaching equipment, end quote, normally used by SWAT and hostage rescue teams to quickly gain entry into buildings, was made last year because Patel had been unreachable behind locked doors, according to multiple people familiar with the request. I quote this, Sarah, because this isn't a discussion about whether you think he should drink more or drink less. It's a specific example of we needed to get Kash Patel and we couldn't get him.
It's a specific example of the alarm, the concern by people within the FBI that this could be a major, major problem in the future and that there needed to be an elevated level of resources beyond what is normal. And I think it's really important to note that this request, I think, just set off alarm bells, and it speaks to just how well known this problem was that it required, that this request went in and was sent up above. So yes, exactly. It is a sign of, again, his colleagues and others in the national security establishment who are fearful that this conduct could place American citizens and members of the FBI in danger.
What was interesting was how you started the article, in which you say, on Friday, April the 10th, as FBI Director Kash Patel was preparing to leave work for the weekend, he struggled to log into an internal computer system. He quickly became convinced that he had been locked out, and he panicked, frantically calling aides and allies to announce that he had been fired by the White House, according to 9 people familiar with his outreach. He had not been fired. The access problem, 2 people familiar with the matter said, appears to have been a technical error, and it was quickly resolved. This is interesting because there is a through line in your story about the fact that, first of all, if drinking is an issue, this is not, Donald Trump's not a drinker and doesn't tend to like that sort of thing. But you're implying that Kash Patel has some sense that he's on thin ice.
Absolutely. I mean, I think he is openly acknowledging that to people that he knows, people that he's speaking to, and people in the White House are openly acknowledging that as well. So I think that this is not, but it's, you know, it's a very unusual circumstance and perhaps a very dangerous circumstance, because you have someone who is clearly feeling on the edge, feeling frightened, and that has security and other leadership, you know, ramifications and implications